Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very much for tuning in to my super chat. Thank you so much. You give me every incentive to rock these live streams, and you help me remain an independent voice. I don't have $20 million in venture capital funding, ladies and gentlemen, so I just want to thank you very much for your support always, for your kind words, for your support, and Eric H526, Luke St. Martin, thank you so very much, as always, for being the best moderators in all of YouTube. Is there a person on the planet that believes the following headline? Hillary Clinton suggests she's willing to serve in Biden administration. I'm ready to help any way I can. Clinton will be the nominee when it's all said and done, ladies and gentlemen. Hillary Clinton is the only chance Democrats have to defeat President Trump. Trump is going to win. Trump is going to win. Okay, I'll repeat that a million times over. President Trump is going to win. But Clinton is the only chance that they have. The only chance they have is Hillary Clinton. Voice of reason! Is there any chance Biden will actually debate Trump? Dems can't complain about Trump attacking all the men with the man. Voice of reason, I cannot imagine them being so incompetent enough. First of all, thank you, Voice of reason. I can't imagine them being more inept and incompetent enough to have the exhumed body, a person who communicates like a cadaver that got Botox and plastic surgery. Biden is so boring, paint watches him dry. This man, you're talking about somebody who slurs his speech while at the same time meandering off into Never Never Land. And also he's insulting. And it'll only take a third major insult to the towards the most important demographic group. So it's twice, but Biden has insulted African American and black voters, the most important voting base within the Democratic Party. Once with Charlemagne the God, and then recently, they're monolithic in thought. And then, so it's just a matter of time before he says something where people are like, oh my God, we have to replace this person. Who do we have? Well, that's right. But I want to read you this. Does this make any sense at all to you? Does Madam Secretary, first of all, Clinton almost won the presidency. The only reason she didn't was because Russia stole it from her. She's the only chance Democrats have. Biden would lose miserably, and he will lose. If he would lose if he was actually on that ballot. There's no chance Biden wins, just like he never got past Iowa. He's been in politics for 50 years. He's run for president numerous times, and the only primary he ever won was South Carolina, and he lost the first three primaries, by a lot. And one of the biggest reasons he won in the South in the Democratic Party is because Bernie Sanders did not craft a message that resonated with Southern voters. In addition to the fact that voters in the South did not want to vote for Medicare for all, and they did not want to vote for somebody who was seen as unrealistic or not pragmatic, the reason they cheated him in Iowa with that app that was conveniently linked to Clinton campaign officials was to ensure that he would be seen as just another flash in the pan, like in 2016 it was actually closer. But here, let me ask you this, ladies and gentlemen. Let me ask you this. Does this make any sense at all? Do you think Clinton is the type of person, knowing that the Russians stole it from her, knowing that she was just 77,000 votes shy of winning and becoming the first female president, knowing that she has spent her entire life, whether it was spreading a photo of Obama in African attire, this was what David Plouffe stated in 2008, the most shameful, offensive fear-mongering in the election. That started the birther myth. And he was wrong when President Trump furthered it, but it started with Democrats. And President Obama's campaign manager said it was the most offensive and shameful fear-mongering in the election. Then she fought a hard-fought battle in 2008 with President Obama, and then there was the party unity my behind people who said they were not going to vote for anyone but Clinton. Then you had Clinton almost winning the election after they were mortified at the Jacob Javits Center, like the crying and weeping and oh my God, and the Russians stole it, and then it was misogyny and everything else. She almost won it. Does it make any sense at all that she would now want to work for Biden? But they've been rivals for years. They've been rivals, intense rivals for years. If you don't believe me, I'm going to read you this. This is why we know Clinton will eventually be nominee, because she's the only chance they have to defeat President Trump. Luke St. Martin! Did you see the Barr interview today on Hannity? He said there were two big developments that would be announced tomorrow. All right, John Durham, that's right. That's right. I'm going to hold off on that. I'm going to wait for it for tomorrow. I had to talk about this. Luke St. Martin, in addition to being an amazing moderator, along with Eric H526, thank you so much for your support always. Yeah, we'll see. It's heating up. Everything's heating up. Everything is heating up. I'm going to do a segment on that on H.A. Goodman's other channel after this. So Barr teases Friday development in Durham probe, says investigation won't be determined by the election. Nice. Trump lays down gauntlet for Barr on Durham probe. Either greatest. Okay, so. Oh, nice. Trump lays down gauntlet for Barr. Either the greatest attorney general or average guy. That's. CNN U.S. intel report on Russia could undercut Trump's hopes on Durham probe. Oh my God. If Durham finds anything, it's actually Russia that wants it to be found. Oh my God. You see, this doesn't make. It's so vapid and absurd, and see, anything that hurts Democrats is a Russian plot. Luke St. Martin, thank you so very much. How do we know? Because U.S. intelligence told us. Luke St. Martin, thank you as always. Luke Bucolic Buffalo. Exactly. Play for sympathy for Biden and guilt people being labeled and not voting for Bucolic Buffalo. The charade, I'm going to read you all right now. This amazing article. And you don't have to look far to debunk the latest Democratic Party nonsense. Luke St. Martin. Bucolic Buffalo, thank you as always. Bucolic Buffalo. Luke St. Martin, thank you as always. Pete Solano! Dumb and Dumber Part 3 at theaters near you. Pete Solano, thank you very, very much. But check this out, ladies and gentlemen. Check this out. And when Clinton becomes nominee, after the nomination with the DNC convention, that's pretty much, what is it, a Zoom meeting? That's pretty much what it is. I don't think they're going to make that big of a stink when they go with Madam Secretary because of political considerations. The polls are already, President Trump has already narrowed the polls. One poll shows him only at 4% down, but here, warm in public, Joe Biden and Hillary Clinton have been intense rivals in private. By Maggie Haberman, Michael D. Scheer, and Amy Chozick, October 21st, 2015. That's almost exactly the same time where I called the election that NPR quoted me. But here, warm in public, Joe Biden and Hillary Clinton have been intense rivals in private. Do you think that Clinton would play second fiddle ever to a man who looks and acts like an exhumed body, who insults the most important demographic group in the Democratic primary, or politically for the Democrats, because 30% of the Latinos are voting for President Trump. Around 90% of African Americans and black voters are voting for Biden, or Clinton. Well, it'll eventually be Clinton, but 15% of black men, 14%, I should say, 14% of black men voted for President Trump. So that's according to the data in 2016. But do you think, and Biden's doing worse than Clinton among black and Latino voters. But this is an article written in 2015, and I'm going to savor every word of this beautifully written article. Bucolic Buffalo, Luke St. Martin, Pete Solano. All right. Warm and public, Joe Biden and Hillary Clinton have been intense rivals in private. Intense. October 21st, 2015. We're going to go back to ancient Rome, ancient Greece. Washington, as he watched Hillary Rodham Clinton's relentless march towards the Oval Office over the past several months. Relentless march. Dun 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 dun. As he watched Hillary Clinton's relentless march towards the Oval Office over the past several months, Vice President Joseph R. Biden Jr. was privately churning. Meetings with his foreign policy aides veered into lengthy discussions about Mrs. Clinton's hawkish stance. He was part of Libya also. At dinners with donors, Mr. Biden expressed astonishment at her handling of the controversy over her private email server. Those close to him say the mere mention of her name could make him fume. Those close to him say the mere mention of her name could make him fume. And he viewed her family's potent, sometimes punishing political machinery with growing resentment. This sounds like somebody that is writing a check that his behind can't cash. The decades-long relationship, Mr. Biden and Mrs. Clinton. The decades-long relationship between Mr. Biden and Mrs. Clinton has included many public expressions of warmth, but in private, it has been marked by an intense rivalry as they both imagined ascending to the highest office in the land. And as the Democratic establishment this summer increasingly fell into line behind Mrs. Clinton as the party's best chance of winning the presidency, Mr. Biden felt slighted and hurt. Now, people who want to think that, Bernie Sanders wasn't cheated and Debbie Wasserman Schultz wasn't forced to resign in disgrace because Bernie was cheated, the rebuttal to this is, Biden has his chance now. He's won. Clinton, in 2 seconds, could have sunk Biden's campaign anytime she wanted to. Anytime she wanted to. In 2 seconds. With all the scandals that he has, with all the controversies that he has, with all the absurd claims that he's made. In 2 seconds, if she spread a photo of President Obama at that point in African attire to begin the birther myth, that's when it all started. The Guardian article where David Plouffe is saying it was the most shameful and offensive fear-mongering of either side in the election. Luke St. Martin, thank you again. Quinn Smith! Quinn Smith! Quinn Smith, that sounds interesting. Quinn Smith! So, I am sure there's been tension in the last few weeks, said the Democratic strategist Hillary Rosen. He didn't want to close the door, and she didn't want the door to open. But Miss Rosen, fundamentally, these two agree on so much more than they disagree on. During an address in the Rose Garden on Wednesday, in which he said he would not seek the presidency, Mr. Biden never once uttered Mrs. Clinton's name, and said nothing that could be construed as positive about her. but he said several things that appeared to chastise her. He once again described Republicans as not our enemies, a reference to her remark during the Democratic debate last week about the enemy she is the proudest to have. And he said that Democrats should proudly defend President Obama's record after Mrs. Clinton has spent recent months distancing herself from it. On Wednesday, Mrs. Clinton called Mr. Biden and released a statement praising his grace. Okay, so part of the tension between them grew out of what Mr. Biden saw as his role as natural successor to carry Mr. Obama's legacy forward. In discussions with potential supporters, as his decision about 2016 grew near, Mr. Biden would often describe himself as the true standard-bearer for the Obama agenda, and he expressed frustration at times with the attention paid to Mrs. Clinton. And recently, as his consideration of a presidential candidacy became more public, the Clintons and their allies began to drop hints that they would not shy away from raising issues about his record and putting obstacles in his path. Hello! If you're walking by a lion and you live, it's not because the lion's afraid of you. Okay? If you're swimming, like, right next to a great white shark and you're not dinner, it's not because, there's something about you that, frightens the shark. That's a choice the animal makes. Julie Lewis! Oh, saw H.A. Page mentioned as a great source of why held a piece on top of Biden Harris twice this week. Julie Lewis! Thank you, Julie! Julie Lewis, thank you. Thank you, Julie. Thank you, as always, for watching. Be here November 3rd. Oh, my God, we're going to have an amazing time. Clinton will be nominee, and she'll lose again to President Trump, but she's the only chance they have. Hillary Clinton's the only chance they have. Isn't that amusing? Julie, thank you. And recently, as his consideration of a presidential candidacy became more public, the Clintons and their allies began to drop hints that they would not shy away from raising issues about his record and putting obstacles in his path. At a recent New Hampshire dinner, Mrs. Clinton linked Mr. Biden to a bankruptcy bill he had voted for in the Senate that is deeply unpopular among the Democratic Party's liberal base. Do you think she has a little bit more than a bankruptcy bill? Do you think she has a bit more than a bankruptcy bill to go after Biden if she wanted to? You mess with the Clintons, they have the most loyal. Read the campaign emails, DNC emails said there's friendly journalists. They have a machine in Hollywood. They're loyal journalists. They have, in 2 seconds, they'd get hit pieces from a whole number of publications. If indeed Madam Secretary was ready to go to political battle with Biden. The fact that his campaign wasn't already sunk by Clinton is the same as you walking by, you walk, like I said, you walking by a lion or a tiger or, a pack of wolves and them just letting you walk by. An elephant is right in front of you. The fact that you're not, you haven't turned into a pancake it's not because the elephant is afraid of you. So I love this line. Okay, so the Clintons and their allies. Who are their allies? Oh my God. This is the New York Times began to drop hints that they would not shy away from raising issues about his record and putting obstacles in his path. Well, what do you think the obstacles would be? Old school dad, man! Have to mention the peace deal, HA. Another foreign policy one. That's right. Huge victory. Huge victory. Another foreign policy achievement. Another huge foreign policy achievement. So, that is another huge foreign policy achievement. Thank you very, very much, Old School Dad Man. That is a huge foreign policy achievement. Old School Dad Man, thank you so very, very much. I'm looking at that right now. Old School Dad Man, thank you. So, and recently, as his consideration, so Old School Dad Man, thank you so very much. That's true. Huge foreign policy victory. Of course, if you talk about it too much on live streams or uploads, like it's very bizarre. You say certain things, certain names of countries you can't. It's like really bizarre. The Clintons and their allies began to drop hints that they would not shy away from raising issues about his record and putting obstacles in his path. The reason that Biden hasn't been replaced by Madam Secretary is because she hasn't decided yet. Greg Landry! Thank you, H.A. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Greg Landry. Greg Landry, thank you. Thank you, Greg Landry. No, Clinton's going to be nominated. Clinton's going to be the nominee. I haven't wavered. I haven't wavered. Hillary Clinton's going to be the nominee. She suffered for us. Nobody has suffered more. God bless her. She's the only person who could defeat Trump. Do you hear that, Democrats? Do you hear that, imbeciles in the Democratic Party? Or I should say, the very smart people in Clinton's inner circle? Now is probably a good time. Probably before the convention, but you can wait until after. Well, it doesn't matter anyway. The whole thing's rigged. It's a charade. William R. Abrams, Mr. Tiny, and I are in the house. Mr. Professor... Mr. Tiny! William R. Abrams III, Old School Dad Man. Big day. Luke St. Martin. Thank you again, Luke. Thank you, Eric H526. Thank you. For weeks leading up to his announcement on Wednesday, Mr. Biden also repeatedly told advisors and potential campaign staff members that he did not believe Mrs. Clinton could defeat the Republican candidate. Oh, my God. He watched as she played up her relationship with Mr. Obama, especially when speaking to black crowds in South Carolina and elsewhere, and argued that if anyone should take advantage of the sitting president's record and high approval rating among Democratic voters, it should be him. The vice president viewed Mrs. Clinton as this book-smart student. Book-smart? Very book-smart. More than book-smart. More than the authors of the books. The vice president viewed Mrs. Clinton as this book-smart student who succeeded by dint of grunt work, but not by dazzling brilliance. Because Biden has his own dazzling brilliance? In a battle of wits, I'll take Clinton over Biden. I'll take Gumby over Biden. I'll take a banana peel. Anything. Biden saw himself more as an intuitive politician. Oh, yeah. Libya was good. Well, I don't know what they say that. I don't know if this is apocryphal. They said he was against Libya, but I don't think so. Intuitive politician and the intuitive leader and policymaker. In the last 48 hours, Mr. Biden. Whoa. There was about to be a big standoff. In the last 48 hours, Mr. Biden wore his growing frustrations on his sleeve, offering a thinly veiled warning to Mrs. Clinton that the Democrats would be making, quote, a strategic mistake if we walk away from or attempt to undo President Obama's legacy. In recent days, Mrs. Clinton has announced her opposition to the president's trade deal with Asia, among other policies. As colleagues in the Senate, Mr. Biden and Mrs. Clinton were friendly. But Mrs. Clinton's outsized celebrity as Secretary of State began to grate on Mr. Biden. With the news media noting Mrs. Clinton's heavy travel schedule, aides to Mr. Biden often said that while miles traveled were irrelevant, the vice president had traveled nearly 700,000 miles in his first term, compared with Mrs. Clinton's 956,733 miles. Greg Landry! Madam Cyberhat, Golden Moo Moo. Greg Landry, thank you again. Greg, I've never wavered. Not once. Oh my God. It's like unbelievable. I've never wavered. Hillary will be the nominee. When did I waver? Quinn Smith, thank you for the kind word. Quinn Smith, thank you. Quinn Smith. You know what? I love you, Quinn. I love you. I gotta put the lollipop rule on that. I don't know exactly what that means. I think I don't think I know who you're referring to, but Quinn Smith. Thank you, Quinn Smith. Creating Wingless Angel. Hello, H.A. Goodman. I'm lucky I survived. God bless you. What happened? I hope you're okay. Creating Wingless Angel. God bless you. God bless you. And I hope you're okay. Quinn Smith, I love you. I apologize, but I have to enforce the lollipop rule. Never wavered. Clinton's going to be nominee. What do you want? What do people want? A tattoo on my forehead? Clinton will be nominee with like a teardrop. Like, what do you want? Clinton will be nominee on my chest. She'll be nominee. It's either before or after the convention. I've always stated, and I will have made the biggest political call of all time. My God Almighty, what more did I have to say? That's why I obsessively. The reason I obsessively stated that every single day for like 4 years is just to ensure that nobody would say I wavered. But it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough. What do I have to do? I'm gonna get like skywriting, like getting a Cessna with Clinton will be nominee. Anyway, Mr. Biden often said that while miles traveled were irrelevant. This is the way Democrats work. I traveled 700,000 miles. I had 956,733 miles. Oh my God, you're a better diplomat. You had more miles. Even though you had top secret intelligence on your servers. Who cares? I don't even care anymore. Do you understand? I don't care. Good. God bless her. I hope she uses a server always. Even if she gets back into, let's say she wins. Servers in the White House. Why not? They always had a very correct relationship, respectful relationship, but not a warm relationship. Yeah, we're friends, but listen. He recalled watching the two of them circle each other warily before debates that year. Yeah, we're friends, but we're watching over our shoulder friends. Wow, what good friends. That's what friends are for good times and bad times, and especially when you have to watch over your shoulder because your friend might plant a hit piece or a story about you. That's what friends are for. Mr. Biden's resentment about Mrs. Clinton has ebbed and flowed. In 2011, pollsters working for Mr. Obama's re-election campaign asked voters in battleground states a question: would you be more likely to vote for Mr. Obama if Mrs. Clinton were to campaign for him? The poll intensified speculation that Mr. Obama was considering replacing Mr. Biden with Mrs. Clinton on the ticket, angering the vice president. Come on, man. Oh, come on, man. Loud citizen! 2 wooden spoons. Thank you. Times 1,000. Loud citizen. Julie Lewis. Yeah, please. Yes, a tattoo for you if she runs. Julie. Thank you, Julie Lewis. Thank you. Thank you. Julie, thank you. Come on, man. Oh, come on, man. This charade, I don't know how long they're going to go with it, but I find it hard to imagine I find it hard to imagine. And I've never wavered. I've never wavered ever, not once. The only thing I've ever said is if Biden is nominee, they lose miserably. And if they're incompetent enough, because they don't have a primary, they cheated Bernie Sanders. They don't have a primary. The DNC attorney stated in court they can vote, they can pick their nominee in smoke-filled back rooms. Robert, no. Randall, thank you. The issue is, come on, man. Do you take this one? Do you take this lawfully wedded? Do you take this wife to be your lawfully wedded wife? Do you take this woman to be your lawfully wedded wife? Come on, man. Sir, do you know how fast you've been driving? Oh, come on, man. I just want to tell you I love you, and do you feel the same way about me? Come on, man. Come on, man. Your car needs a new transmission. It's going to be about $3,000. Come on, man. Oh, my goodness. All right, let's continue. Come on, man. Come on, man. Come on, man. J-Man! Joe said 3 months. Means it's over when they went. J-Man! Thank you, J-Man. Thank you. Oh, come on, man. Come on, man. All right. The next year, Mr. Obama, aware of how sensitive his vice president was when it came to Mrs. Clinton, edited a joke about dropping Mr. Biden from the ticket. Oh, come on, man. Here's what about dropping me, huh? Yeah. Eucalyptus. Boysenberry. Come on, man. Cornflakes. Come on. Dropping Mr. Biden from the ticket from a draft of his speech. I'm going to drop Biden from our ticket. With Mrs. Clinton tucked away from politics and above the fray at the State Department in 2012, Mr. Biden barnstormed the country to sell the Obama presidency, sometimes at the expense of his own approval ratings. What, really? What was so bad? Several Democrats said Wednesday they hoped any bitter feelings about their rivalry could be put aside. If you're a rival with Madam Secretary, it's like you might as well be it's the political equivalent of being a rival with Al Capone. It's the political equivalent of being a rival with Jaws. Okay? It's the political equivalent of being a rival with a, School of Piranha. You're not really going to be a rival with, a grizzly bear. Hey, I'm your rival. You can eat me alive, but I'm your rival. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. Politics runs on whoever has the most political influence and leverage and political power, and whoever has the ability to craft a media message, whoever has the ability to make people ignore and forget and pretend they never saw a scandal or a controversy. Biden does not have that ability. He does not have allies in media. He does not have. This is the New York Times talking about Clinton allies in media and in politics. Biden does not have a grassroots support system. So I don't see. Even if he gets the nomination, there's a million different ways Clinton becomes nominee. I just don't see. He would get eaten alive at the debates. And Clinton could spend all the debates saying for 4 years, I was right, and look what happened, and it's all your fault. It just settles an issue that, while it was outstanding and ambiguous, created a cloud of uncertainty, said a donor to Mrs. Clinton's campaign. I think that is clarified now. It makes everything that much more clear. So, you have the Clintons and their allies began to drop hints that they would not shy away from raising issues about his record and putting obstacles in his path. I don't know how it's going to happen, but she's going to be nominee. It ain't going to be Biden. Come on, man. Simon Hathaway Spurlock, lying doff face pony soldier 2020. Super channel awesome time. Hello. That's a great name. Creating. Oh my God, I was poisoned. Oh my God. I hope you're safe. Oh my God, that's crazy. Loud Citizen. Who was Kamala's VP? Well, Kamala is Hillary's VP pick. Loud Citizen. Oh, come on, man. Sir, you're going to have to move that car. You can't park in that location. Oh, come on, man. Come on, man. The wait is 45 minutes for a table. Oh, come on, man. Come on, man. I bet you don't drink cornflakes like this. So, and then they were like, oh my God, did you see what Judge Janine said? And Jesse Waters. I did a segment today. There are so many overt threats that President Trump has had to deal with. So many overt, obscene, disgusting, malicious threats that the Secret Service has had to address. And you don't see them caring. Isn't that interesting? I love that. You never see them caring when it's a threat that actually, a bounty on the president. Okay, we'll do it for half. That's what, a comedian said. A big comedian. Pete Solano! What do you think they will find in a hot tub full of... What do you think they will find in a hot tub full of piranha? They'll find me with my political adversary. No, I'm joking. Pete Solano, thank you. Julie Moritz, thank you, Julie. Pete, thank you so very much. What do you think they'll find in a hot tub full of Pete Solano, Julie Moritz, thank you very much, Julie. Pete, thank you as always. Julie, thank you so very, very much. Julie Moritz, thank you. Julie Moritz, thank you. It's interesting. They're doing the same thing they did this year they're doing the same thing they did in 2016. Everything is historic. Oh, it's so historic. It's like nobody cares because it's also the first time that a district attorney had to drop 1,000 cases, or a city attorney had to drop 1,000 cases because of prosecutorial misconduct and because one of the lab technicians at the police crime lab was snorting the narcotics. So it's like, this is history in the making. We've never had a former prosecutor linked to a crime lab with people snorting the cocaine. We've never had that at all. This is a first. The Democrats are groundbreaking with everything. Oh, Democrats, you're so great. They always like, and it doesn't work too, because then like when they try to this is unprecedented, and people are like, well, why did she drop 1,000 cases? They're like, oh, don't bring it up. Russia wants you to bring it up. William R. Abrams III. Knock, knock. Who's there? Come on, man. Why, William R. Abrams, why did the chicken cross the road? Oh, come on, man. Come on, man. Why did the chicken cross the road? Well, come on, man. D. Velasquez. What if Hillary? Nobody will ever find out about it. D. Velasquez, thank you. Quinn Smith. The laughing jackalope. Quinn Smith. I'm not exactly sure what that means. Quinn Smith. Nice. The laughing jackalope. Quinn Smith. Nice. Jackrabbit and antelope horns. Nice. Quinn Smith, thank you. So, Julie Moritz, thank you. D. Velasquez, as always, thank you. So, So Fox News is basically alluding to nothing horrible, but they're looking at this campaign from the vantage point. See, Democrats have a really hilarious way of looking at the political party. They're like, oh, everything's above board, and there would never be any cheating, and Russia wants you, if there's any disagreement, Russia wants you to disagree with us. Okay, because, U.S. intelligence says so. Yeah. U.S. intelligence said that. So you better not disagree, okay? U.S. intelligence said so. I mean, I always use the analogy, but it's the same thing. It's like, what are you doing in our bed, with the entire team of Hawaiian Tropic models and no clothes? What are you doing? The Russians wanted you to open the door, honey. The Russians wanted you to open the door. You see what's going on here? Don't you even see what's going on? You're part of a Putin plot. Are you a Putin puppet? What? What are you talking about? Get out of our house. Get out of my house. I'm on a divorce. That's what Putin wants. That's what Putin wants us to divorce. What you're seeing right now is exactly what Putin wants you to see. No, don't put your clothes back on. No. That's exactly what Putin wants you to see. Okay? These women with me in our bed, in our bedroom, the fact that they're here is not relevant. The fact that Putin wanted you to open the door and find out, that's the big problem. Can't you see it so clear as day? Come on, Corn Pop. Come on, man. Morpheus. Thank you. William R. Abrams. Was the chicken a liberal? William R. Abrams, thank you. Morpheus. So, nice. Voice of reason. Won't read that, but I think it'll fly. It'll be okay. Voice of reason. Thank you. It's interesting because when Judge Janine and when Jesse Waters were like, look, this can't be happening, they said it in the most benign way possible. Because there's no way that you can look at, there's no way you can look at this and not say, okay, wait a second, there's a charade going on. And I have a very tough time believing I picked the 1 year in the past 40 years that Madam Secretary didn't want to become president. So I'm telling you, if Biden is the nominee, and that's not wavering, I'm just saying if Biden's the nominee, they lose miserably. The polls are already. There's the Hill-Harris poll. We'll read you the Hill-Harris poll. Voice of reason, Morpheus, thank you. Hill-Harris poll has Biden only up by 4. Okay. Trump trails Biden by 4 points in new national poll. So how did Trump go from 15 points down to 4 points down in the span of 3-4 weeks? How is that possible? It's possible because, like I told you, the polls are a bunch of nonsense. There were polls that said that Clinton was up 17 points. We're too fragmented as a society for polls to accurately depict how voters are going to vote. At least, okay, perhaps a day before the election, you could get a snapshot. Perhaps, depending on the poll. But 3 months or 2 months before the election, we're a little over 2.5 months away now. It'll hurt my pride for a second, or a little bit longer, maybe a couple minutes, but then President Trump wins re-election easily. Now, Hillary Clinton and Kamala Harris is a much more formidable duo. You look at Biden, when he smiles, he looks like a jack-o'-lantern. When he smiles, he looks like one of the characters in the Tim Burton films. Nightmare Before Christmas. He looks like Jack from Nightmare Before Christmas. So, when Biden smiles, tell me he doesn't look like Jack from Nightmare Before Christmas. Tell me. Is that the character's name? Tell me he doesn't look like... hold on 1 second. Characters. Jack Skellington. Tell me he doesn't look like Jack Skellington. And it's like... Simon Hathaway Spurlock! Ain't no future in your front in 2020. That's right. That's right. You're going to give Biden the emo vote. Randall, that's hilarious. I'm going to give Biden the emo. I don't know what that means exactly, the emo vote. That's hilarious. Simon Hathaway Spurlock. I love your name. Simon Hathaway Spurlock. That is a distinguished name. That is an awesome name. Dignified. Simon Hathaway Spurlock. Ain't no future in your front in 2020. Yeah, this whole thing is ain't no future in your front. This whole election is the ain't no future in your front election. And the interesting thing is, I don't know how they're going to do it, but I can't imagine that they're going to go ahead. I can't imagine that that Clinton would allow it to happen. And they say, well, she's just a normal politician, and all of these theories about how powerful Clinton is. It's like, she doesn't control the weather. I just read a New York Times article. That talked about if she wanted to, she could utilize, or she could begin. She has allies within the media or politics that could bring up Biden's horrendous record. So, that boy Fofo, hello. Hello. This is the Ain't No Future in Your Frontin' election. Democrats, their new album is The Only Future We Have Is Frontin'. And then Hillary's single, the Frontin' Is My Only Future. And it's like, it's happening. Trump trails Biden by 4 points in new national poll. Less than 90 days before the November elections, President Trump is trailing former Biden. If they're so inept, or they don't listen to me, you hear that, Democrats? You hear that, Clinton campaign? If you're so incompetent that you can't usurp the exhumed body, Jack Skellington, the man who looks and acts like a cadaver, who insults millions upon millions of voters all the time, who has zero enthusiasm, zero enthusiasm, and Kamala Harris did not bring any enthusiasm out. Willie Brown himself was like, yeah, she shouldn't accept the nomination, or she shouldn't accept the vice presidency. Clinton decides to run when she decides it will be the most publicized buzz. There will be energy, enthusiasm, passion. The I'm with her crowd, I'm still with her. I mean, they're passionate. They were the people unity, party unity, my behind people. And now they'll be, I'm sorry for the mountain lion incident, but you know what? We need to move on, people. Oh, my goodness. I know that I repeat the same jokes. I was walking my pet mountain lion, and I had no idea that Biden was riding his bike. I cracked myself up. How is that even possible? I mean, what are the odds? I was walking my pet mountain lion, Willie. And Willie just, oh my goodness, he just, I don't know what was going on. That was just too bad what happened. But we have to move on as a party. Trump is a menace. Leo Szabo! Leo Szabo, thank you. Leo Szabo, thank you. You know what? Next time, Joe, I'm sorry. I'll put him on a stronger leash. And it's too bad. You know what's so funny? I woke up this morning, and I didn't feed my pet mountain lion, Willie. And I said, I'm going to feed you, big guy. I'm going to feed you right after we take a nice little walk. Right near Biden's bike path. I mean, what are the odds? How could I ever have imagined Biden would go riding his bike at around 3 p.m. this afternoon? That's really bizarre. Simon Hathaway Spurlock! Claire, hello. Simon Hathaway, Tales from the Crypt. Tales. Hello. Tales from the Crypt. That's so funny. Simon Hathaway Spurlock. Thank you very much. Thank you, Simon. Thank you as always. I want to thank you, Simon. And then William Barr. Simon Hathaway Spurlock, thank you so very much. And tomorrow, hopefully there'll be something enticing about the wonderful, moral, and super legal people who tried to set up and frame President Trump. Old school dad, man. Oh. Burgess Meredith. Biden reminds me. Rocky. Burgess Meredith from Batman. Yes. Yes. What were some great quotes from Burgess Meredith and Rocky? There were some great quotes. Why can I not remember? You're gonna eat lightning and you're gonna crap thunder. Women weaken legs. Oh, come on, man. I've been coming here for 6 years, and for 6 years you've been sticking to. And for 6 years you've been sticking it to me. I want to know how come. He sounds like what's his name? We can open up the economy when the Messiah comes down and everyone is without a roof over their head and eating grass. That will be the only time we can open up the economy, because that's the only safe time there is. I'm just trying to help you out. Okay, Trumpists, Trumplicans. Now go ahead and catch that chicken. Love Rocky. Love Rocky. Love Rocky. Come on, man. Simon Hathaway Spurlock. Quinn Smith. Oh my God. Quinn, I love you, but I don't know. Quinn, I love you, but I have to put the Wally Pop. I have to do the Wally Pop. I love you, Quinn. I apologize, but please. The algorithm. I don't know what that means too. Oh my God. Sorry, Quinn. Mr. Spurlock. Leo Szabo. Nadler said the Newt Treaty. Nadler is. Those two countries don't do anything they don't want to do. So Nadler is his usual point of order, Mr. Chairman, point of order. Senate or House hearings used to be like prestigious affairs, and Democrats have turned it into, or Republicans too, but Democrats have turned it into like complete nonsense. 4% of voters said they prefer someone else as their candidate for president, while another 4% of voters do not plan to vote. So if you prefer somebody else other than Biden or Trump, you're voting for Trump. Because if you just can't stand Biden, you're probably likely to be like, if I had to choose, I'll pick Trump. Because Biden doesn't offer anyone anything aside from the old Tales from the Crypt movies. 2,828 registered voters. And Biden's only up by 4. And the more he opens his mouth, the worse it is. Please save us, Madam Secretary. Trump's going to win anyway. So I'm speaking in terms of save the Democrats. There are a million legal. There's no law that says that Clinton can't become nominee, and nobody has any true affinity for Biden. Even if he gets the nomination, they could rethink things. Okay, who knows how they can do it? They could say, "Oh my goodness, Biden made another gaffe, and we do have somebody who almost defeated Trump, and you know what? We need to replace Biden." It takes one article in the New York Times, and like lemmings, the entire Democratic Party says the same thing. That's it. One article in the New York Times, one article in the Washington Post, a CNN segment. Get what's his name? One of the Clinton surrogates out, and it's all good. We're just waiting. Today it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. It does not make any sense to run with a person who has no chance to win. And when Democrats lose again, it's going to be the most apoplectic, seething, fuming, hysterical, fanatical reaction. I mean, you're talking about people who will finally realize not only that they were part of a cult, but they're actually going to say things like, the people who won't admit that they're part of like this gigantic cult, the people who won't admit that are people who will eventually say, we have no more democracy, the country is over, it's done, that type of thing. And I mean, that would be like the more sane type of meltdown. Who knows what they're going to do? Because they're going to have to spend 4 years. And how are they going to and Twitter is going to be the vehicle. They're going to retweet Trump to 8 years in office. You have a billionaire investor yesterday that I talked about. Then you have who said that Trump's going to win again. Then you have Helmut Norpoth, who has a primary model that says that Trump's going to win. You had Professor Lichtman, who has the 13 keys, but a lot of these keys are dependent on media spin. Like Trump has a charisma that is complete. Oh, wow. Trump just retweeted James Woods. I got hair that turns blonde in the sun. Oh, my God. This is so funny. This is so funny. Oh, my God. And Kimberly Strauss, so Kamala Harris, was an uneven campaigner engulfed by internal turmoil and unable to provide a clear message. Today, a vibrant and energetic campaigner, a vessel for Democratic hopes. Washington Post said she was an uneven campaigner with internal turmoil and unable to provide a clear message. And then today, Washington Post said, vibrant and energetic, a vessel for Democratic hopes. Well, if that's the vessel, they're going straight to the Titanic. To the iceberg. Joe Biden munches on wife Jill's finger at Iowa campaign stop. Who are they kidding? Like, this is absurd. Who believes this? Who believes this? Gee, man. And just to let you know, I have no Twitter account. I'm just going to repeat myself until everyone goes nuts. Not just me, everyone. Okay? And I'll be saying Clinton will be nominee after the election, so. I got hairy legs that turn blonde in the sun. I got hairy legs that turn blonde in the sun, in the sun. And they used to come up and reach in the pool and rub my leg down. I don't see nothing wrong with rubbing Joe Biden's leg hair down. So straight and watch the hair come back up again. Watch the hair come back up again. Joe Biden is the man. Oh, come on, man. Who doesn't have blonde leg hair, man? Come on. Come on, man. Come on, man. They give you problems now. At least not problems, but like the segment is not monetized even if I put any audio. If I put almost any audio, it gets like halfway demonetized. The algorithm doesn't allow, at least for me, I don't know about others. Forget about, like, I don't, man, I'm low tech. I have Joe Biden and Putin, helping me out with my with my technology here, but it's really interesting. I would go ahead and play like, I got hairy legs. 9.9 million views. Who believes that this is a serious candidate? Who believes this? There's no way. There's no way. What world? It's good that I'm stuck in the past. It's good. This world that we live in now, they've pushed their luck. They've pushed the envelope. The Overton window is now it's no longer a window. Like the whole side of the house has been completely ripped off. There's no year. Biden could not become president or prime minister anywhere in the world. Like Trump could. Hillary Clinton could. Theoretically. But nowhere in the world would they say, come on now, man. Come on now, man. You want to be a junkie? Mr. Biden, why did you, Mr. Trump is taking a cognitive test. And I just wondering, what are your thoughts on, you taking the coke? You're snorting it, you junkie! What? Why would you act that way? And then he smiles like this. Come on, man. Let me look at myself when I do this. He just looks like, come on. I can't do it. Biden has either the facelift gone wrong or there's something going on with the Botox, something. Voice of reason. CNN and MSNBC. Trump elected again because they need the ratings. I wouldn't really doubt I would agree. I agree with you. There are probably people who are saying, you know what, we're probably going to benefit a lot more with President Trump than Biden, even though they think Biden's going to be. No, it ain't going to be Biden. Voice of reason. Great point. Simon Hathaway Spurlock. I've been watching your videos since before last election. Thank you, Simon Hathaway Spurlock. Thank you. I truly appreciate your great work, especially your turtle image. Simon Hathaway Spurlock, thank you so very much. And, Nancy and I have a lot of disagreements, but the other day I said, Nancy, what is your plan when you get completely decimated by Trump here? What are you going to do, Nancy? What are you going to do? And she just looked at me and gave me the bird, the middle finger. I said, okay, that's fine. You have insulted the good honor and name of the McConnell clan. And you'll get a retribution coming to you November 3rd. Thank you so very much. Simon Hathaway Spurlock, thank you so very much. Simon, thank you very, very much, and I do appreciate you watching for so long. You've had to deal with my personality for a long time. Simon Hathaway Spurlock and everyone here, if you've watched me for that long, it must have been interesting to see how I went from, the far left, or what I thought was the far left, to supporting President Trump. And it's interesting, too, because, the average Trump supporter, the Democrats and media try to paint Trump supporters as these horrible human beings. Trump supporters have critical thinking skills. Democrats generally do not. You can say anything. And Democrats will be like, yeah, well, it makes sense, whatever. The intelligence community said Russia with Facebook ads, it happened. Oh, reported to Trump, do you regret all the lying you've done to the American people? She never asked that of President Obama. If they judged President Obama in the same way, he would have told twice as many lies. From, this is a safe water to drink. Oh yeah, we're going into Libya to save the lives of people. Do you regret all the lying you have done to the American people? No, that is not even a question. That's a question that could be asked of any president. That's a question that could have easily been asked to President Obama. Whether it was you'll keep your doctor, or we're going into Libya to prevent mass slaughter, which happened right after he intervened, and it's now a failed state with people being bought and sold. President Obama said he didn't know of Clinton's email servers, and there's evidence that he did. He emailed. We can go on forever. Simon Hathaway, Spurlock, thank you very, very much. Mangy Vermin, thank you. Thank you. Thank you very, very much for watching for so long. Old School Dad Man! Simon, thank you again. Old School Dad Man, you know you're on the right track when you can keep your audience from left to right. Yeah, thank you. No, I appreciate that. Old School Dad Man, you know what drives me, and I think drives everyone who watches me, Old School Dad Man, is I want American soldiers home from never-ending counterinsurgency conflicts. And the left uses words like imperialism and cutting the military budget, but they never, ever, ever, ever say, we want Americans home. You'll never get anyone on the left saying that, ever, ever. You'll never get the progressives, all 5 of them in Congress, saying, we want Americans home. We want American soldiers home. Ever. You'll never get Democrats to say that. Old School Dad Man, thank you so very, very, very much. Old School Dad Man, thank you. I told Nancy, I said, if you want to get into the octagon, you're going to get Khabibed. And that already happened. This election has been the most boring election of all time. So I'm waiting for... I can't believe that it's like the Cubs haven't won in 100 years, and then they finally won. It's like picking... You could have picked any year. So it's like... I highly doubt I picked the one year where Clinton didn't have the unbridled ambition and quest, or unbridled desire for absolute political influence and power. But one year, this is the year that she says, yeah, I'll work for Biden. This is the year? I don't think so. The Russians stole the election. The Putins stole the election. The Facebook Putins. The Twitter Putins. The rootin' tootin' Putins. They stole the election. We heard it every single day. They're more obsessive than I am. Every single day. And if you say anything bad, that's what the Russians want. Don't you understand? That's what Putin wants. U.S. intelligence says so. Soon it's just going to be, U.S. intelligence says that they support a bill in Congress because it's good for national security. And Democrats will be like, see, it's good for national security. So you got to ask yourself, is this a charade or is this real life? Is this they lack basic critical thinking skills? Like, if you asked which If you ask which Facebook ads, swung the election, they won't be able to tell you. Let's just look at the I'm with her. If they asked how, where's the evidence Trump worked with Russia? Oh, it's still dossier, which was purchased by Clinton. I typed in hashtag I'm still her. I meant to say I'm still with her. Oh my God. Let's see. Hold on. I'm still with her. Oh yeah. The 19th Amendment is so you have the 100th anniversary, and they're wasting it with Tales from the Crypt. Harris joins Biden ticket, achieving a first. It's a first. It's a first. History in the making. It's history in the making. Oh my God. Yeah, you've never had a corrupt prosecutor ever. It's amazing. Simon Hathaway Spurlock. Biggest booster on the internet. Simon Hathaway Spurlock. That is funny. Simon Hathaway Spurlock. Thank you very, 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 very much, as always. Jimbo! Madam Secretary has been running since the last election. The book, the doco. Exactly, Jimbo, exactly. It's just a matter of time. I don't know how they do it. Because once Biden wraps up the nomination, let's say, well, she could still time for them to go with Clinton somehow, some way. But once he wraps up the nomination, the pesky Bernie people with the Medicare for All that Democrats will never ever pass, because why didn't they pass the Medicare for All bill in the House? And the rebuttal is, well, they don't have the Senate. So what? At least they get the ball rolling and they show voters, hey, you know what? When we are in the House of Representatives, we really are serious about a Medicare for All bill. The reason they didn't pass a bill is because they can't explain to the American people how it's funded. And they have no intention of doing so. The only reason they talked about Medicare for All on the left, and this is either willingly or unwillingly, or knowingly or unwittingly, the way James Clapper speaks, you have everybody from pundits to politicians, progressive politicians. They say, oh, yeah, Medicare for All, man. Why hasn't AOC co-sponsored a bill? Oh, because there's one that's already sponsored in the House. Well, where is that? Why hasn't it passed the House of Representatives? Why hasn't it passed the House? Because they're talking about retaking the Senate. So you mean that they don't want Medicare? Well, okay, Biden would veto. So he'd veto the Medicare for All. He'd veto a bill that actually passed Congress. So there you go. Madam Secretary was asked, and she said it would never pass Congress anyway. Jimbo, thank you. Pete Solano. HA, what would a Trump versus Biden debate on TV look like? That's one of the reasons that's one of the reasons I don't think that they would ever allow that to happen. Because Pete Solano, it would be a travesty. Biden would lose the campaign. There's no way that for 1 hour, if Biden is asked questions and it has to go up against Trump, there's no way that he would, because Trump doesn't let up. He's like Joe Frazier, straight, forward, always, he's like Canelo Alvarez, just always going forward, and he doesn't, Trump doesn't let up. He doesn't care if you hit him because he's going to hit back. He doesn't care if you hit him politically. Trump doesn't let up. He doesn't let up. The great boxers and MMA fighters are the ones that, some of the great ones, they don't let up. So he would be eaten alive. Come on, man. How many times can you say, come on, man? You had some issues in the Ukraine. Come on, man. You Charade. Come on, man. You had Libya. Come on, man. You never won a primary until South Carolina. It took you 50 years. Come on, man. You've made serious insulting comments where it's actually your words. Come on, man. There's no enthusiasm for your campaign. Oh, junkie, are you snorting the coke again? Have you taken a cognitive test? Come on, man. Have you taken a pandemic test? Dun, dun, dun. Come on, man. I just find it very difficult to believe. I trust them as far as I could throw Chris Christie. I find it very difficult to believe that they don't have something up their sleeves. And when it goes down, you realize they're not going to skip a beat. Simon Hathaway Spurlock. Why aren't I 50 points ahead, you might ask? Simon Hathaway Spurlock, thank you. Voice of reason. Exactly. Come on, man. Everything's come on, man. Everything is come on, man. You stepped in a pile of poop. Come on, man. You won the lottery. Come on, man. Clinton's replacing you. Come on, man. And that's what they were trying to say. Like, they were like, oh my God, why would Judge Jeanine say something like that? It's like, no, because he's obviously not a serious candidate. The fact that they're nominating him doesn't mean that they don't have an ulterior plan. Look what happened to Bernie Sanders. Why did Debbie Wasserman Schultz resign? So I'm trying to understand things just from a vantage point of critical thinking, asking important questions. Why did Debbie Wasserman Schultz resign? I want to know. The Putins didn't write those emails. Okay? The Putins just, hacked the DNC to inform everyone that Bernie Sanders was cheated. The Putins never touched Madam Secretary's servers. But why was Debbie Wasserman, why was she forced to resign? That's a question I need to know. Natalie, thank you so very much. Natalie, thank you. Thank you, Natalie. Thank you, Natalie. Thank you. Number one fan. Greatly appreciated, Natalie. Greatly appreciated. If you say a bad, derogatory word about Deborah Wasserman, you'll have me to contend with. Natalie, thank you. Oh, Ohio State, yes. Thank you, Natalie. Buckeyes. Why did Debbie Wasserman Schultz resign? And why was Clinton given debate questions? Trade fees. Biden said. Oh, exactly. Oh my God. Exactly. Unbelievable. Jane, thank you so very much, Jane. Thank you, Jane. Natalie, Jane, thank you so very much. Thank you, Jane. Greatly appreciated. Trade feeds, exactly. It's of course anything that. This is the thing. It's just unbelievable. John, John Koziar, thank you very much, John. Thank you so much, John. I don't know how it's going to happen. John Koziar, thank you so much. I don't know how it's going to happen. But John, Simon, what difference does it make at this point? Exactly. John, Simon, thank you as always, Simon. John, I don't know, like, it's interesting. I don't know how it's going to go down. I have no clue. I don't know how it's going to go down, but I have a feeling, like, do you get a sense we're really watching an election here? I understand the pandemic. I get it. Oh, my God. I understand the pandemic. It's not just a matter of, do you really think that Biden won an actual primary? There was no campaigning. I mean, they voted in states during the pandemic, but of course you can't work. So I'm wondering what Fauci had to say about that. Probably nothing. Actually, they didn't ask me. Give me some more Clorox. And maybe some cashews. And maybe some almonds. They didn't, they didn't mind people actually, they didn't mind people who voted in person. They didn't mind people who voted in person. They were okay with people who were voting in person. During 4 Democratic-run primaries. During the pandemic. In the rain. Getting pelted by hail in Wisconsin. But working is bad. But protesting is okay. So, I mean, they're all over the place. They're all over the place. They're just all over the place. Unbelievable. So, I mean, let's see. Let me read this again. I mean, I don't think that people don't change who they are. Like, ambitious people, like, people who will stop at nothing to get what they want, don't change. They don't suddenly say, Hillary Clinton ready to help in Biden administration. There's not a chance in the known universe that Clinton would be subservient to anyone on the planet. Much less a rival. This makes no sense at all, and literally she's the only person who could possibly defeat Trump. At a certain point, they're going to have to pump a lot of money. October, they're going to have to pump a lot of money if they have any chance to defeat President Trump. Biden isn't going to be able to raise that money. So, it makes no sense to me at all. None of this makes any sense. I mean, do you really think that you're watching a presidential campaign? There's more anticipation for like a TV series or, you know, a DVD that you bought from Amazon and you were like, oh, wow, you know, I want to watch this. Morpheus! You illegally used intelligence apparatus of the United States to spy on a political and incoming president like Biden. Come on, man. Exactly. Exactly. And if you go through that much trouble, if you go through that much trouble, does it make any sense at all? I don't know. I'm just trying to think out loud. I don't think so. I'm not trusting them as far as I can throw Jerry Nadler. Laura, hello. Lied about what? What did I lie about? What on earth did I lie about? I lie about something? Didn't lie. Is it November 3rd yet? And even if it were, would that be a lie? No, that's not a lie. Morpheus! Zero Manny! Zero Manny, Morpheus, thank you. Zero Manny, thank you. Zero Manny, thank you. Very, very much. To my viewers in Canada, thank you. My viewers in Australia, thank you. William R. Abrams III, Biden confined. No, Clinton is the only chance that they have to win. She could actually defeat President Trump. I'm trying to tell everybody, you know, you tell the left anything, that when they lose again, oh my God. And if they go with Biden, they ain't going to win. There's zero voter turnout. They're not even going to get close enough to cheat. Do you understand? They're not even going to get close enough to cheat. And I think that at this point, the only thing that makes sense, because Biden does not make sense as a candidate. I don't care if he gets the nomination. I don't care if they crown him king of the Democrats. I don't care. It doesn't. None of this makes any sense at all. This is a political party that cheats all the time. All the time. And just like you kept saying, everyone keeps saying, oh my God, what? Biden said what? Biden did what? Biden said what? What? Oh my God, what? No, it can't be serious. There's something up their sleeves. And you don't spend 4 years obsessing over Russian interference to elect Biden. That makes no sense at all. You don't go into a campaign obsessing over, and let me tell you, Clinton, Kamala, that's a good duo right there. Oh, that's right. Sorry. Yes. Why would they say that? Why would they say that to President Trump? Are you sorry you lied to the American people? Why exactly? Yes. Electric Dog. Hello. Thank you. I didn't understand the. Why would they say that? It's just so. It's so much like. Why didn't they ask that question of President Obama? Because any hyperbole, President Obama made statements that had they judged the statements in the same way they judged Trump's statements, would have been twice as many lies. You can go, a litany of lies. Oh, I didn't know about he didn't know his own Secretary of State had private servers. How is that possible? That is impossible. It's not feasible that would take place. Why would you ask? Exactly. Electric Dog, thank you. Sorry, I apologize. I misunderstood. Eric H526. Yes. William R. Abrams. I heard what he said about the Biden couldn't find comment. That's hilarious. Thank you. All right, winding down, ladies and gentlemen. Let's just see. Simon Hathaway Spurlock. My energy levels are getting low. I need some replenishment in the gas tank. I'm trying to drink Coca-Cola, but it's not working. Simon Hathaway Spurlock. Joe Biden is this. There's no way that they're going to fail so spectacularly hard. It's going to be amazing. They're going to fail, and then it's going to be the USPS, and then Russia, and then Putin's going to be at the post office. Putin was spotted at the post office, and he had a knapsack full of absentee ballots. Putin was spotted running with a knapsack and duffel bag full of absentee ballots and mail-in ballots, and oh my God. And then there was misogyny, everything. And they'll never look in the mirror. They will never, ever, ever look in the mirror and say, we stink. It'll never happen, but they do. Ladies and gentlemen, 2020 crazy is here. Only to get crazier. Fried Cash, you're 100% right. Yeah, you are 100% right. Fried Cash, you're 100% right. It's only going to get nuttier. This is the most honest. So when is the debate? First debate is what? September 26th. They have till September 26th. I'm going to go with the first debate with Biden. I'm still going to say Clinton eventually, but yeah, it's they will tank not only this election, their entire political party. And the media, look, already Biden, they're not going to go with Biden during the debates, but if they are so inept and incompetent enough, and they do, he's going to get completely steamrolled, completely obliterated. President Trump, at the end of the day, is a good president. He's achieved a great deal. A great deal. We had record low unemployment prior to the pandemic. The pandemic's not Trump's fault. Oh, he didn't lead. They don't want him to lead. Anything he would have said, anything we already have on record, anything that he said, they said the opposite, and now they're saying what he was saying. So, Fried Cash, thank you as always. Ladies and gentlemen, Luke St. Martin, thank you again, Luke. Eric H526, subscribe to H.A. Goodman's other channel. The link is below, people. And I'll be back tomorrow morning, as always, on this channel. Please go ahead, ladies and gentlemen, and be here every evening from like 8 to 9 p.m. I start the live streams, and it's something that it's just really fun. We get up to 500-600 people on live streams, and check out my upload from today, ladies and gentlemen. It was pretty good. Clinton replacing current nominee hinted by Fox News since only Madam Secretary can defeat Trump. Check that out. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very much. To my super chat, thank you. If you want to support my voice long term, ladies and gentlemen, my Patreon is below, but your support via the super chat really allows me to do these live streams. Like I said, I can't access $20 million worth of venture capital funding like some people. So I appreciate your help greatly. And ladies and gentlemen, thanks everybody. God bless. To my super chat, thank you. Eric H526, Luke St. Martin, thank you. I'll see you tomorrow, everyone. It's only going to get even more exciting from here on out. Clinton will eventually be the nominee. She's the only chance they have. I mean, she'd lose to Trump also, but she could get close. She's the only chance they have. With Biden, it's not even. Biden is a worse electoral college victory than victory for Trump or defeat for Democrats. Give me